Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of AcroFlex. We are here for actually our final AcroFlex episode today. That being said, it's been a really wonderful journey and I hope that all of you have gained a bunch of additional mobility and flexibility, even some strength along the way. That being said, we are not going to be continuing any of our streams in and through June, as we're going to be focusing all of our efforts on educating our staff and reinforcing all of the new parameters under which we are supposed to open our facilities. We are very excited to bring you guys back into our gyms, but we do have to be open and honest with you and letting you know that things may be a little different, or things that, you may have grown used to may change ever so slightly. So we just want to give you guys that brief disclaimer. As you guys start entering our facilities when they reopen, you will also be getting some of those disclaimers. We'll be giving you guys more information about reopening our facilities via our social media and our emails. So if you guys are not a member, then you should follow us on our social media. And if you are a member, then you guys have gotten some of those emails from our businesses that are kind of letting you know or updating you on our information as it comes in. That's really everything that I wanted to speak about today, because like I said, this will be our last AcroFlex, and coming up later on, that will be our last Little Heroes class, finishing our Firestorm at Home series. So for those of you that have, again, been following us, we really do appreciate your support and your viewership, and we intentionally chose YouTube so that we could archive all of our live streams, so that way you guys have that access in, well, any time, at any day, whenever you guys need it. So in any instance that something like this does ever occur again, or maybe you've moved and you're no longer with us in our facilities directly, you can still stay with us in spirit, practice some of your movements, and keep your workouts and your stretches going. With that being said, let's get ourselves started with AcroFlex 31. Very excited. We're going to be doing a 32, a full body focus today, spending just a little bit of time on each part of the body, moving from top all the way to bottom and back. It's going to be a really awesome time. Let's go ahead and start with just a few seated half neck circles. I've moved my furniture around. As you guys can see, I don't need so much space, and my kitty cats are taken care of, calmly distracted. So I'm going to go on ahead and start with that half neck circle, going chin to shoulder, across the chest, and to opposite shoulder. Please try to emphasize your posture and your spine, really big and tall. You can even pull against the front side of your knee so that you can pull your chest up through your shoulders to sit yourself up nice and tall as you finish these last few parts of the neck circle. Very good. Still be mindful of that posture. Actually going to take a seat on one of our hands and keep that shoulder down and in place by sitting our chest up. Good. I feel a slight stretch here. Now I'm going to increase that by tilting my head and pulling. It's supposed to be a very light pull. Whether you guys realize it or not, that will naturally decompress sometimes. You'll get little pops or clicks. And I'm only pulling really with the weight of my arm, and so that you guys may have heard that little pop in my neck. Very fun, very relaxing. Good. Release the head, release the hand from under the bottom, and switch. Make sure that you sit up strong, you get your posture and feel your stretch here before you tilt and rest. And I got an additional decompression on this opposite side, but you guys probably didn't hear that one. And always breathing, only casually just breathing. Very good. Go on ahead and release the head and come out of from under yourself with the hand. We're going to keep this crisscross applesauce position that we've been in. And again, you can grab the front end of your knee and your shin so that you can straighten up your chest. We're going to keep that posture nice and strong. We're going to do a few big upwards reaches and lateral reaches, and we're going to scoop those hands back under us. So reach up, and then reach out, and then bring those hands back together. And just try to be ever so mindful of your reach and the form that you guys are shaping. I'm reaching straight up, and I'm really trying to bring those shoulders in towards my ears, and as I reach straight out to the sides, I bring those hands down, and I'm coming straight back together here in the middle, just above my knee. Up, out, and across. And I'm trying to keep my palm facing the direction I'm moving with the exception of up. I'm going to keep my palm facing down. Then, palm is facing down on that down and outward reach, and palms come together. And again, up, and down, and across. Just mobilizing those shoulders and the back, especially if you guys, go ahead and stop there, especially if you sat yourself up and you have your chest and your body upright, you should feel a little bit of additional activation in the middle of your back, really helping to support your shoulder blades as we move. Into this, reach, upward reach, we're going to do a few shrugs using our obliques and our shoulder blade. So big reach up, and shrug. And just keep breathing. Keep your spinal posture nice and tall, nice and strong. Good. Let's bring those hands out, palms down, make a few circles going forwards. Nice. Just mobilizing the shoulder a little bit more and making sure that we're not accidentally impinging our movement. This means that our shoulder blade is not moving when our shoulder moves. That's a bad thing. That's like trying to walk through a door while it's closed. You can imagine you'd have a hard time doing so. So let's go the opposite direction. Oh, what have you got? Okay. Awesome. Just a few more of those lateral arm circles, or backwards arm circles. And let's stop there and bring those hands, palms together in the front. Clasp those fingers together and roll our wrists out. And now, you guys really want to make sure you roll your wrists both directions. I've done this several times before, where I point out my index fingers, and this helps me to see that I'm making a counterclockwise circle currently, or that I'm making a clockwise circle currently. Making sure to roll out the wrist in both directions is just honestly good for you. You don't ever want to become one-sided. That's a very bad thing. So we try to practice that equal, appreciation, stretch, and focus on the body. A few last wrist rolls. And opposite side. Good. We're going to go ahead and sit in a butterfly position now. So pushing my feet towards each other instead of cross past each other. We're going to pull them in, not as deep as you can go. If you guys want to, you can even be in a little bit of a slight diamond position where your feet are slightly out. But we want this butterfly leg shape. Now, we are going to slowly take both hands to one leg, twist our body to match, and then with our back arm, we're going to reach across to the opposite side of our body. So both arms to one leg. I'm going to twist, back arm reaches back. So I can just twist. We're going to hold this twist for just a few moments. And release. We're going to replicate the movement on the opposite side now. So both arms to the leg, twist the body, hand back and reach, and twist. Very good stuff. Go ahead and come on out of that twist. Now, again, from this butterfly or this diamond, your personal preference, we are going to do a nice forward fold. So when I do this, I like to reach up and add my arms to my body's fold. So I'm going to reach up and reach out and lean out in my fold. Now, maybe you guys have seen Coach Summer or some of your other friends, people on different videos that get as flat as possible. That's great. This is as flat as possible for some of us. And that's also okay. If we're still working our way up for that, one of the things that you guys are able to use is your family or your friends. They can slowly come in and push on your back, shoulders, your spine just a little bit in the lower end of your spine because you don't want to round out too much. You want to make sure that you keep a nice straight spine as we lean in, like we're pressing our belly button to our heel. It's a very low part of your spine way down here on the opposite end of your belly button. So use as much of your spine in the fold as you can, but as if it were like a very straight stick not as if it is the segmented bits that it is actually. Very good stuff. Now we're going to go on ahead and put one leg out, bring one leg in, and that leg that's out, I'm going to go ahead and slide it over to the side just ever so slightly. A little bit more there, a little bit tighter of a pull here, and that bent in leg. Very good stuff. Now from here, I'm going to reach opposite this bent leg, arm to knee. Boom. Now I can reach overhead with, again, that same idea of a nice straight spine as best as possible. We're going to go on ahead. He found another piece of plastic. I took it from him though. We're going to go on ahead and again reach to the knee and fold over. Some of us have greater fold flexibility than others, and that's okay. We're all on our own journey. Now, as I'm in this reach, I want you guys to be mindful of the fact that we're trying to go shoulder over shoulder. I'm not turning flat to reach my foot more. I am instead emphasizing that this is for my torso and reaching overhead this way. You should feel some of that on the side of your ribs or in your shoulder even. Good, let's go ahead and come on out. And now we're gonna switch, right? So bringing in the leg, pulling it in nice and tight, and extending, pointing the toe, pushing out the opposite leg. Very good stuff. Now, that leg, opposite arm reach to grab and reach overhead to extended leg. Wow, I have a dominant side and a non-dominant side. Many of you will feel the same, and that's okay. Our goal is still to work from our own personal best. Very nice stuff, guys. Go ahead and come on out. Very good. And we're going to kick that bent leg out into a nice old straddle. Now, I've done this before. I'm going to explain it again if it's your first time watching. We are going to hit a quick little jazz split in order to slide our straddle slightly wider. So when I say jazz split, that means I'm going to be bending one leg and keeping one leg straight and turning my hips over sideways. Something like this, right? But now I'm going to push my knee back, my heel out, by sliding my hips forwards. And now I can turn straight back out into a wider straddle than I was at before. Trust me, I know it's wider because my hips popped. And some of you may get, again, those little bits of decompression in the hip. That's a good thing. We're just going to flex the feet for right now. And we're going to slowly and slightly and softly lean in and lean out. I'm not bouncing. I am leaning to a stop and lifting to a stop. And it's very different from bouncing in your movement. So we're not going to bounce there, not yet. We're going to keep those feet flexed, nice wide straddle. We're going to lean in and lean out. Keep that spinal posture up. Lean in and lean out and lean in and lean out and lean in and lean out and lean in and lean out. Very cool. So we are now going to replicate this, again, not bouncing, but leaning in and leaning out action, going left to right, over our leg, following over our leg as a pathway. I don't want you guys swinging across the front and middle right now. So I'm going to keep those feet flexed, keep those legs wide, keep my cat occupied, and I'm going to lean over to one, lean up, get good spinal posture, nice and strong and tall, readjust, and lean over to two, and come up and readjust. And I've talked about it in previous episodes that I've done for flexibility for AcroFlex. And the idea that we're using here is that while that muscle is at full extension, I'm activating that muscle or a lot of support muscles around it to aid myself in increasing my flexibility. Now, if you guys have a slight weight, you can add, like I have Mr. Artemis. He's a weight that I've got to carry. I can lean out, and I can come back in, readjust. I can lean out. Okay, and there goes my weight. But If you guys add weight to the movement, then you can make yourself a little stronger, and you can increase your flexibility gains, right? Your strength gains too. Now, I'm going to slowly walk my legs back in together. Okay. There we go. Oh, very nice. Now, we're going to just sit in our pike for just a moment here with, again, those flexed feet. I'm a really big fan of flexed feet. This elongates our calf muscle here, and it helps us to open up the arch of our foot. So those big flexed feet, to the point where you can even flex your heel off the ground by hyperextending your knee ever so slightly. So if you guys can, great. If you can't, that's okay. What we're gonna do is focus on one leg at a time. So I'm gonna slightly turn, just ever so, and now you guys can see it is very challenging to hyperflex those legs off the ground like that. Sometimes it will help you to put something like a soft pillow under your knee so that you can practice, and you guys can see now, I have this slight bit of elevation, but I'm pressing into the pillow so tightly that my heel is lifting up off the ground. This is a great way to work out the quad and the back of the knee and to really strengthen that joint because there's not a whole lot of muscle in there. So highly recommend that we do that if we can with the pillow for just that little bit of help. If we can't do it with the pillow or we do it without the pillow, either way, we can grab with one hand on the knee, grab with one hand on the foot, and physically hyperextend ever so slightly. I'm pushing on the knee and pulling on my foot, and I'm not going to hold that for too long. After I do that, I'm going to kind of bend the knee a little bit, then go back in for another stretch. Just kind of getting that knee taken care of, giving it a little bit of stretch in both directions, just ever so slightly. Nice. Let's go one more. Hyperflex for 3 seconds. And down, bend, just kind of shake it out. Now, opposite foot, I'm going to turn so you guys can see. Here we are. Again, you can use the pillow for your knee, or no pillow, no need for that. Then we can go one hand on the knee, one hand on the foot, and I can pull into that bit of hyperflex. Walk that knee out, pull, again for 2 or 3 seconds at a time. We're going to do this 5 times like we did on the opposite leg. And pull. And bend. Now, if you guys don't have the flexibility to reach your toe, I highly recommend that you guys start really focusing on just your pike stretch as a movement. Alright, we're going to do that. We're going to finish up with that. So grab the foot if you can, and hyperextend. Bring it back in. We're going to go one more time. Nice hyperextension. Get the heel up off the ground, one leg at a time if we need to. Good stuff. And now, press those legs firmly together. Fold for our pike. I'm going to fold again with that nice straight spine as best as possible. If I can't reach my toes yet, then I'm going to build up my ability to reach my toes by taking my hands under my calves and bending my elbows towards the floor while keeping my spine nice and straight, trying to press. Again, I like to think about it as belly button to thigh. There we go. Now maybe I don't have the greatest pike stretch in the world, but I do have the right focus on the right parts of my body, and that will inevitably lead to a better pike if I keep practicing. Now, when people talk about gaining flexibility, I know we've been doing about 3 episodes a week for the past several months. That is unfortunately still not enough for most people to gain flexibility. That is why we often remind you guys to stretch more or at home, or if you guys are doing additional workouts like the parkour workouts or the strength and conditioning, we have extra stretches that are included in those as well, because flexibility is gained day by day, several times a day, not several times a week. Keep that in mind, guys. So for increased flexibility gains, we're going to have to seriously increase our frequency of stretches. We're going to go ahead and cross the legs into a figure 4. I'm going to emphasize my ankle roll as 2 separate parts before the roll. I'm going to do just a pull where I'm also going to curl my toe. For those of you that don't know, you should have toe flexibility. It's supposed to be there. You should be able to bend your toes 90 degrees in either direction. It's super helpful. It also means that you have good flexibility in your foot if you're able to. And if you're lacking that toe flexibility, you're probably lacking that foot flexibility. You're probably more prone to rolling your ankles. I don't know, but some of you might have heard this and been like, whoa, that's totally me. So this little bit of stretch will help you out quite a bit. So like I said, 2 extra parts before our ankle roll. We're going to curl those toes almost like I'm turning my foot into a fist, and I'm pulling my toes towards my heel, straight down, so that I can really open and elongate the front of my foot here, where the top becomes the shin across the front of my ankle. Now I'm going to do the opposite, really grab a hold of the toe, and again, toe should go up about 90 degrees or as close as we can get to it. You can even use your second hand to help you emphasize that toe stretch. Once you've got your toes locked into a nice deep stretch, now you can focus on flexing the foot, and as far as you can flex that foot, right? Like I'm pulling the ball of the toe up towards the shin and pushing even a little on my heel, trying to get that little bit of stretch. And now I'm going to release and do my ankle roll. When we do this ankle roll, the last little bit of extra focus that I'd like for you to apply is that you guys are going to squeeze your Achilles tendon. I mean, not like just a little bit, but I mean like choke your ankle, right? This Achilles tendon back here, the thing that Justin had to have replaced and repaired, that thing, we want to take good care of it and give it good flexibility. So squeezing it while rolling the ankle increases the tension that's on that tendon. That increases our ability to kind of mobilize and stretch it that little bit. It's really not as comfortable as it sounds, but it's even more uncomfortable. You can ask Coach Justin about if you don't stretch your Achilles enough and you snap them. So it is an important lesson to learn, and if you can learn it from your peers, then you don't have to learn it firsthand. And I have been washing machine style, rolling my ankle out with that tight squeeze, because the washing machine style is a little bit more sporadic. I feel like it prepares me a little bit more for it if I was accidentally going to misstep. I'm never intentionally going to misstep, but if I accidentally misstep, it would be something a little more sporadic in movement. So having that slightly less controlled, more sporadic stretch for my ankle roll is actually the way that I prefer to do it. Cool. Let's switch over to our other foot. And again, we're going to do both of those extra stretches before the roll. We're going to crisscross into that figure 4. We're going to curl like we're turning our foot into a fist. We're going to try and increase that by grabbing hold of the toes, curling them down and in, and then pulling the foot. Now, there's a lot of people that will accidentally sickle their foot up. That is when your big toe comes towards the side of your calf and here like this. Our goal is to not have our foot sickle, but instead to keep our foot in a straight alignment so that when we grab a hold of it and we are pulling, we can keep it nice and straight. Not up here, not sickled, straight. So, oh yeah, and I already feel that across this front line, my ankle here. Very good stretch, very important stretch. Alright, and we're going to flex the toes, flex the foot now. And again, 90 degrees in the toe going upward as best as possible, or as close to it as we can get. And if you increase that by grabbing hold of the foot and just focusing that stretch on the toe, then go back in for that whole ankle. Remember, this is not just us stretching our ankle, but we're stretching our foot out, opening our foot, the arch of our foot a little bit, and again, that toe flexibility, which your little phalanges get forgot about. That's not okay. So, good stuff. Feeling nice. All right, and really tightly grasp that Achilles tendon as you get into those washing machine style ankle rolls. Really kind of get all sorts of Rice crispy pops and clicks in my ankle, and I know that that's because I have not done enough calf and ankle workouts, but I've damaged my ankles quite a lot. So I know my body's concerns and issues and where and how I need to improve it. And that's even at the end of AcroFlex and after all of our Firestorm at home. That's going to be what I do with my time, you know, where I otherwise would have spent it here, working with you guys in class, or where I will spend it actually working in classes at our gyms when they're open again. When I have to take care of myself, I have to know myself and know what parts of me to take care of properly. So I would like for all of you guys to try and take into great consideration what parts of your bodies are hurting, or what parts of your body has a little or slight differences. You know, you have to tailor your movements for your body that way. We're going to go ahead and get a quick sip of water and you know, rest and relax. That's pretty much all of it for AcroFlex today. You guys, like I said, it's going to be our last episode. Wanted to make it a light little whole bodily like focus, stretch, and movement. So I hope that you guys kind of got that feeling out of today's AcroFlex. It was, like I said, chill, relaxing. We tapered the series down on, I'd say, a very calm and happy note. When you guys get a chance to, like I said, feel free to check out some of our other series. All of them have been archived, or you can just come visit us in our gyms when they're open. Go on ahead and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the stretches, and you guys can comment or subscribe as you guys see fit. Plus, if you want more content, click that notification bell. We're, again, stopping our Firestorm at home, but it doesn't mean that we're going to stop creating content. So you guys stick with us on the channel, and we will stick with you. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.